You're still here. I'm glad I got you. Are you working more overtime to buy more physical silver?
Why, of course. Do you know any other asset which is undervalued by 100-fold that you can trade these worthless bits of paper for?
No. But I wanted to ask you about that. Some people are saying that the above-ground supply of silver is actually much larger than anyone thinks.
Really? Why do they say that?
Because they say that there are tons of silver just waiting to be turned in and melted once the price is high enough.
And what type of silver would that be?
Well, coins and silverware sets. All the old silver just hanging around.
Indeed. When was the last time that a 90% silver coin was minted for general circulation in this country?
1964, I believe.
Correct. And do you know of anyone who eats with pure sterling silverware?
Well, maybe a couple of rich people.
And does anyone besides the rich that you know of buy sterling silver vases, bowls, or candelabras?
No. Not really. Only if they are into antiques.
Exactly. So we know that there are some rich people out there with silver antiques, and some coin collectors with old silver coins.
Yes. And they create a great supply overhang according to some, which is just waiting to be sold onto the market and crush the price of silver.
Really? Well, then what are they waiting for? Why don't they go ahead and sell it now and smash the price of silver?
Because the price of silver is far too low to cause rich people to melt down their antiques, or to cause coin collectors to melt down their coins.
Oh. I see. So, what price do you think would be sufficient to coax this silver away to be melted?
I don't know. Perhaps $50 or so.
Alright. That may be a good guess. But did you know that it has already happened?
No. When did it happen?
In 1979 and 1980. Did you know that during that period the price of silver stayed about $35 for months?
No.
And that people lined up around the block at coin stores and smelters to melt down their silver?
No. I did not know that. So if it has already happened, and they started doing that at $35 an ounce, then we are not far away from the point where they start doing that again.
Hardly. Do you know what the Dow Industrials price was in 1980?
I believe it was under 1,000.
Correct. And what was the price of a new car back then?
I don't know.
The average price of a new car was $6,000. And what was the price of a new house?
I don't know.
A new house in 1980 cost less than $50,000.
Okay, so what is your point?
Well, as you can see, the price of real goods at the time that silver was being melted down for cash was just a fraction of what it is today.
I see.
So if we want to determine at what price that same behavior will occur again, we need to find the inflation-adjusted price.
I see.
And from the above examples, we know that a conservative guess of that price would be 5 to 10 times today's price, correct?
So, when silver gets to $150 to $300 an ounce, we should start seeing people look to melt it down.
But it is worse than even that.
Why?
Because, as you acknowledged, they haven't been minting any general circulation coins since 1964. And they aren't making pure sterling silver anymore except for the very rich, correct?
Yes.
So the vast majority of that stuff was around in 1980, wasn't it?
Yes.
And since people were lined up around the block to get it melted, we know a large amount was melted at that time, correct?
Yes.
And we know that adjusted for today's prices, the price it was melted at was from $150 to $300 and higher?
Yes.
So, before we even have to start worrying about this supply overhang, which may have been mostly melted back then, we will need to see a minimum of $150 to $300 per ounce.
I see. So what you are saying is that for this vast above-ground supply of silver to hit the market, we will need to see a minimum of $150 an ounce, and more likely $300 an ounce.
Correct.
And even when we see the price, there may not be nearly as much to come to the market as some people think, because a lot of that could have already been melted.
Correct.
And so this giant above-ground supply overhang is really just a big bogeyman.
Yes.
So I should buy as much physical silver as I can get my hot little hands on, because it is still 1/10 of the price of where there's even a remote chance to get more supply.
Precisely. Goodbye.